Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for this presentation. But I would like to start by telling about myself, presenting what we're going to do today during my workshop. So as it was told before, I am from Quantum STEM School, and I have been teaching there for 2.5 years now already. And today I'm going to present what is CLIL and how to use CLIL in science. So does anyone know what CLIL means? What does this abbreviation mean? Yes? Yes, so I hear this difference. It's content, how to teach content through the language. Yes, exactly. Right. So, for example, we are talking about our context, Kazakhstan context. However, CLIL is an international phenomenon, so many people are facing this problem. Like in Spain, Spanish-speaking, Chinese-speaking people, they teach science, math, or other subjects in English, and it has an additional challenge for teachers. Since the knowledge of children is not sufficient to deliver it as in the first language. So we have to do some additional work, and this is named as CLIL, content and language integrated learning. So we don't just teach the content or direct language, but we try to do both. Right? So if you go to the next. Yes, so this is my background. I'm a science teacher, but also I am certified one-class CBT CLIL, and also I have studied biological sciences at the University, and so I have some specialty in science as well. But my experience started as an English teacher, as a second language teacher. So yes, this is our lab in biology and the publishing from the last year. So today I'm going to talk about some stuff like introducing vocabulary, because it's the main thing while we're teaching science or math or math subjects, scaffolding, content, and assessment. In my previous workshops, I have mentioned what scaffolding is, and I didn't I won't stop here a lot, but I will give you some examples and we should try to do some activities, interdisciplinary connection between science and English. English and math, etc. We will see how these subjects are actually connected to each other. And comparing inquiry and competency for science, if we will have time, this is an extra information, but if we will have time, we can just discuss how inquiry may change in the life and depending on the programs. So, introducing new vocabulary. First of all, I want to ask this question. Do your children, do your kids, for those who teach science especially, do they know all the vocabulary, especially, let's say, scientific, academic vocabulary? No. So they don't know, and in our case, in the situation of quantum, we also have to assess that. We give them formative assessments, summative assessments like the same practice. Because from what I heard from my colleagues from other schools, you don't have an assessment, right? Science, you don't give grades, you don't put marks, as far as I understand. But in our case, we have to assess, and that's why it brings more challenges to us as teachers, interacting with kids and also parents. So I want to clarify why this is important for me as a science teacher, to know how to introduce the vocabulary. That's why I was in this session. So MFP method is actually used in CELTA. While you're teaching another language, you have to present new words using this ability. It's called M for me, F for fork, and P for pronunciation. So while you're giving the new word, you don't just give the word, but you have to also explain its meaning. You can deliver it by using another definitions, dictionaries, visual aids, etc. Context, as well as the form. Is it a noun or adjective or a verb? What form of the word is it? And the pronunciation. So for improving the pronunciation of the word, because some parents come and they are so let's say disappointed at the way their children pronounce the words in science especially. So even though I do some drilling exercises, which means we repeat the words several times in the class, they still make mistakes, and that's why it's important to focus on the pronunciation. For example, here is the new word, it's growth, which means getting bigger. It can be the definition, as I said. Noun singular, and the P pronunciation as growth. You don't have to give them this transcript as in English classes, but you can just change it with similar phrases like growth, like in here. So for you to make it clear, I have prepared some worksheets. You have 4 tasks on two sides, and if we task 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you have to do is match the new word meaning, form, and pronunciation with the examples. Okay, so in this way, I hope you will get to know how to prepare the new vocabulary for the lesson. All right, now I'm going to spread this. So if you just match it, we'll take a little bit of short time. We can take one per, like per person. I have enough copies for everyone. Yes. Okay, so now while you're matching, for example, the first word is yes. For example, reproduction, the new word is reproduction. So pronunciation is reproduction. Form. Simple enough, right? And the meaning coverage. Easy, but still helps us to deliver the meaning. Also, I want to mention in our school, like there was made a decision that science lessons, science, math, computer science, engineering lessons have to be only delivered in English. So that's why I don't give the translation into Russian. So that was another challenge this year, to be honest. Previously, we could give the Russian translation or in Kazakh. However, this year we are only allowed to give the pictures or definitions from English to English. Okay? So that's why it was important for us to remind ourselves how to deliver that. So if you have completed, I hope yes, this is good. I think it's quite easy, right? Okay. So this I have given also some verbs like to increase, verb-based form, the figure, and etc. All right. Now I will not probably ask you to tell me what you have done, but there is another task. There are some words given. For example, I will give you the word opposite. The word is given. Try to create meaning, form, and pronunciation by yourself. Okay. I'm going to give you the new cards, so you can do it now. And maybe after 2 minutes, when you have filled it, I can ask you to maybe give your examples and please compare your answers. Maybe you can, for the meeting, you can draw some pictures. Also, it doesn't always have to be the definition, but Okay, anyone ready? Okay, let's start if you have completed. Yes, please. What word do you have? Nutrition. Nutrition. Excel. Start all the nominations. One of the work living things. And form is similar now. Conversation. Excellent, thank you. So we have the nutrition, who has the to transfer, then you have the transfer. Or maybe to create or all. Any volunteers? To create, thank you. Meaning to make something or first, export and pronunciation. So pronunciation is not the spelling. Create. 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 Excellent. Thank you. And yes.
My word is opposite.
Excellent. Yes.
So the meaning of the opposite is synonymous with antonym. Form is an adjective.
Right.
Pronunciation opposite.
Opposite. Thank you. So also it's important for kids to remind the stress, right? So where the stress is. They may say opposite or opposite and etc. So we have to give the model the correct stress in the word. And one word to transfer, I think it's the most challenging, right? To transfer. I have the. Thank you. Meaning the new word there is verb, another case. Okay. Norm is the verb. Pronunciation. Transform. Thank you. So I think do anyone have like other ideas? Maybe different. Yes. Thank you. All right, I think we can move on. Right. Here, I just wanted to show you how it's easy to understand the kids, so you can prepare maybe more detailed words. Okay, the next step is using visual aid or dictionary to deliver vocabulary. So as we said, M stands for meaning, right? We can deliver meaning using definitions or visual aids. There are some advantages like visual learning, contextual understanding. So science has different abstract and difficult, complex concepts which are difficult to explain. So sometimes pictures can help. And engaging and interactive. It is good for the primary school, especially. For example, here, can you guess the meaning of the picture number 1? What is the meaning? Like A, B, C, D, Yes, exactly. Semester, please. And number 2? Okay, number 4? Against. And 5? Magic. Yes, also because you already know the language, however, the pictures can explain the context and introduce the language. All right. Also, sometimes I use definitions like here, what is a baby plant? What is, I don't know if you can see it. To observe, what to record for seedlings. Seedling. Seedlings, it means like a baby plant. It's not a big plant, it's a baby plant. To see, to observe, like good plant, it's good. Health. It's good, so it's not bad. It's good. All right, so you can check yourself. You can go to YouTube, scan and go to game word wall, and you can check your knowledge of the skills.
For example, if there is a word health.
That's what we're doing. Yes. So yes, there are some words that are very difficult to explain. So that's why in the class, it's a very good question. Maybe out of 20 students, 2, 3 know what health means, and they can help others to translate.
So,
no,
but they can transfer.
Yeah, they can tell to each other, they can share, they can translate to each other. That's what our ECL teacher does. That's what I try to do, and that's we are putting this condition. We are like finding the ways on, like practically. Yes.
So this year on, your school is practicing the use of L2
So it's a shift. The first 2 years we were practicing, like we were giving the concepts and everything in English, but we were giving the translations and instructions in English. For this year, there was some concerns.
So, have you been given scientific evidence to suggest that this is a better way of teaching by the administration or school?
You mean like teaching only in English?
Yes.
So this decision was made not by teachers.
So they were not involved.
Yes, this decision was made by the administration. However, they suggested that solutions how to deliver, because they know this problem that proficiency of English language in primary school isn't good enough to teach as for the first language kids, you know. So we're just trying to find the solution this way. We are seeing some ups and downs. However, it's working because this is the third year the school is operating. So kids have some proficiency. Of course, we have several students who have problems with their basic skills, but most of them are doing well. Yes.
What do you do with the kids for the evolution behind? We work with parents. We have some fixed hours, and we try to give them differentiated tasks. I prepared some differentiated tasks that probably are easier, much easier, and have straightforward instructions, like just rewrite. I try to not challenge too much if I see that they're like, or there are some new students who have decided to come. Yeah, it's always challenging.
The reason why I asked the question I asked was actually I was so much into the subject of using L1 and I attended the big workshop which took place 2 years ago in Romania. And the use of L1 cannot be undermined in any context. It's so useful and then lots of scientific evidence that this doesn't go quite well with my philosophy. To strike a balance is something that you have to find and work out.
Exactly. I agree with your opinion, so that's what we did like the first 2 years, and I'm going to show how actually we cope with that later. So this is about the vocabulary. Next step is scaffolding. So what does scaffolding mean? Do you have any ideas? Have you heard this word before? Scaffolding. So let's look at this picture to understand it better. So we imagine that this Singapore science program, whatever the program they're studying is up here, and the knowledge of our students is up
down here, okay? So for us to make them not feel bad about themselves, not to feel like disappointed and frustrated, this method was actually like implemented years ago, but we're just trying to use it. It's called scaffolding. So we give them a lot of support at the beginning, which means I create very easy tasks at the beginning, so they understand very easy concepts, like this vocabulary, just new words, just simple facts, and then these facts become more and more difficult. So at the end, they become more independent in studying this subject. Okay, it requires a lot of like preparation work. Let's say students, like teacher needs to like divide this difficult task into smaller parts, into smaller facts first of all, and then give more difficult and more difficult tasks, right? Because in our experience, the first year when we just gave them everything in English, of course they fail, of course they cry, even though they have worked so much, even though they have a lot of practice with their parents, homeworks, and etc. But still they fail. So that's why we created easier task at the beginning. Also, it helps with, as I mentioned before, differentiation. So let's get to know it. So what scaffolding content means? Very simple words. While you're teaching science, you may notice that words are very complicated. So you can replace them with simple words. Okay? Dividing complex concepts into simple facts. Right? So there can be big, long, grammatically complex sentences, which can actually be divided into small sentences and facts. All right? And adding pictures and illustrations is obviously can help. Designing less supporting questions. So when you have simplified the content already, then when you know that students understand the basic, then you can make it more and more. So first you give the simplest tasks. For example, scaffolding content. On the right side, we have the original information, like plants need light to be healthy, leaves need light to be good, plants don't receive light to grow tall at first, will but die because it cannot make food. Okay, so this is the importance of light. How I scaffolded this question. So I made a small question: what conditions affect the growth? So just look at the picture and find out what condition is being tested here. So you see that in picture A there is sun, in picture B there is no sun, so they can easily find out the answer is the sunlight. Okay, so it improves their self-confidence as well. They feel that they understand what's going on, despite the language barrier. Another example, it's a little like there is a lot of text, but don't be scared. Is another example from the book. Here it has changed its assessment. It's not the content. Now we're looking at the assessment, how it was scaffolded. So there is a long description of the process. However, I changed it like the scientific question: what's the best temperature to keep plants healthy? Yes. So this is what we're investigating. What's the best temperature? What conditions for plants do you need to change? So it also improves the inquiry. Okay? While they're designing the experiments, they are thinking also about the inquiry. Like, what conditions for plant do you need to change? What conditions for plant do you keep the same? Right? So these two questions are very simple. However, they improve the understanding of how to design the experiment for finding out what it does. Next example is an open question. The sealer stem with leaves, beaker water with red color. Thanks to Dina, you already know what this experiment is about. So this experiment is described, and the question is, what does this show about the function of the stem? So here, the students have to answer what is the function of the stem. However, I changed it a little bit and gave them the options, A, B, C. So the sealer stem helps to reproduce, take nutrients from the soil, helps to make food for plants. Okay, so they can find out from these options already. Okay. So any questions so far here? I know it's you start thinking a lot and you puzzled, but it's important about it. Yes, sure.
So you mean like the sample is not instead of the steps, you just showing it to them, and how much time does it take a class to understand I think it's quite challenging for the kids if
Yes.
they don't, I mean, if they're not familiar with the English. Or to understand, it's challenging by itself, I don't understand what's to the impression. It's good, already takes time. But explaining completely in English, it's already kind of takes a big period of your plus time.
Well, this is true. So that's why, as I mentioned before, I introduced the vocabulary first. So when they know this new word already, they can understand what's going on just a little bit. They understand the context already. In addition to that, I wanted to just mention that we have actually done this experiment practically. So it was on the book, a color change in celery. This is our result. We found the celery. In this case, and after 2 days, we observe the result and we see that there are some red pigments on the celery leaves. So they have already done this experiment, and then we have already concluded the results that the stem helps to transfer the nutrients in water. However, it was given as an assessment next time, and the description here is actually already like put celery stems with leaves into the water with red color. Already they know what's going on, also from the picture.
What about their answers? So, okay, you do not translate the tasks, but sometimes they ask, can I write down the answer in Russian?
Yes, I allow them.
You allow them?
Yes, I allow them to write in Russian. I allow them to make spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, whatever mistakes, but I want them to understand the content.
Okay.
And that's how I deal with the answers.
So you are more focused on understanding.
Yes, not. Sometimes they say, I don't know how to write. I say, write the way you know it.
For me, it's vice versa. I give them translation, but not, I don't allow them to give the answers to Russian.
Okay.
Right.
Probably yes. Probably we have people. But this is for primary. So I have actually prepared some tasks from this. This task are for the third graders. This is the third graders task. Just to imagine, they are just 9, 10 years old. Some of them are 8. Okay, and they have to do with type of information. So I'm going to give you some tasks. On the right side, we have the original task. On the left side, we have to make top of the test. You can just try. I want you to wear machine. So you have different tasks here, and you have to change it. You have to change it, make it simple task, right? This is the original. You have to read, understand, and rewrite it as a simple task. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to create a task that is easier. You can choose, you have many options, so I have given 5 different. If anyone has ideas how to follow the first step, you can share with us. Let's go to the first step. Okay. But here's the task. So, look at the picture. Look at the picture. It's a plant. Plant A with right with water. Plant B no water because it starts big and say maybe don't know works without water. So with water and without water. And the next question. What affects both? A sunlight, B soil, C temperature, and water. And that's it. It's our task. Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, great. Next task with the 3 students. Who'd like to come and share ideas about the task? So, how to make this task easier? Any ideas? Really? To be honest, I think I thought this would be the easiest. Yes. Okay. Okay, maybe I can show you. Can I?
Yes. Please.
Okay, great. Please.
I was like, circle the name. Who said all living things don't need food?
Okay.
Yeah.
Circle the name.
Circle the name. Who said all living things don't need food?
Yes, great. Like you paraphrase it, right? For me, this is about what statement is correct question, right? So for me, how I deal with this, I first challenge each sentence. I give the question number 1. A plant is not a living thing because it doesn't eat food. True or false? Okay. A plant is a living thing. It doesn't need to eat food because it can make its own food. True or false? Okay. And then plant is a living thing. Not all living things need food. True or false? First, they have to do these 3 tasks. Okay. So they find out which is true, which is false, first of all. Okay. And then I ask the question number 4. What sentence is true or what sentence is false? Okay. Yeah, or who said the truth? Yes. So first, if you have the same question, you can challenge each sentence first. Yes. And then just combine them together and make one correct answer, right? This is one of the ways. Yes. It solved many problems. Next task, I liked, can I ask Amir you to come to and show your work? The team, please, can I ask you to come and show your work? I really enjoyed seeing your drawings and so this is about friction. Our class had maybe yes.
Probably before this, they already know. Sorry, they're already familiar with less and more because.
Let me help you. Yes, maybe 3. Task 3 next. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to introduce rough, smooth, skid, and maybe tire. So basically, what I did is I created a matching task, and I already did this hardest one, which is skid, with the picture. So there is a word with the with the picture basically. Then I simplify the text and explaining that maybe you can use the same text, but what you need to do is when you introducing the grammar, you need to ask concept checking questions about the friction. It's like, when does the car skid? When it's less friction or more friction? Maybe you can ask that. Or maybe you simplify it like I did. I simplified the text. I made the tires are not rough. I explained. The car skid on tires.
Blah, blah, blah.
Because it's not rough. So it can only be smooth. So I'm basically only giving them one option to choose from. Because there is not a lot of friction. There is not a lot of friction. So tires means something. Tires means something friction. So smooth tires mean less friction. Rough tires means more friction. So there are two options of answering this. And then last question, I just really made it simple. How to solve this problem instead of what can a team do? It's like how to solve this problem. Very simple question. Everybody will understand. So,
Excellent, thank you.
No.
I just really enjoyed it. Your drawings as well, thank you. And number 4, any volunteers here as well about using this equipment, right? This is the question about equipment. Maybe if anyone, maybe I can tell, or yes? Okay, so Min wants to find the exact difference in the amount of force needed to lift a soccer ball and tennis ball. What is the best method? Tick the correct answer. So here we can just say, how to measure the force? How to measure the force? And then answer maybe how to measure the force, and maybe you can use a force meter, use a thermometer, and use different equipments, like just to check if they know how to use different equipment, like weighing scales, stopwatch, whatever, just measuring tape. So there are different equipments they can use, and as one of the options, you just can give a force meter. Okay, so all right, and then the last task. Okay, here maybe we can skip because lack of the time. Yes. The last question we can probably skip, and so you got the idea of scaffolding, I hope, right? Yes, great. Now we are going to the next. Yes, we can skip also this. Interdisciplinary connection between science and English. So this topic arose when we were talking in this teaching forum with my colleagues, because we have this type of conversation in our teacher forum. Like, have you studied solid and liquid last year? Like, English teacher is asking me, like, have you studied? I said yes. Oh, they're just doing it, like, just great. You know? Or I asked her, have you studied like the production of animals already? She said yes. That's why they use the words lay eggs or give birth so often. Okay, so we have different lesson objectives for science. Lesson objectives: how to grow healthy plants, and the ECL lesson objectives: linking cause and effect. Right. So as we can see, the main vocabulary is the same. The texts are almost the same. However, the objectives are a little different. But we need to understand that there's always a interdisciplinary connection. So this is the real exam from the third graders, and this is the real presentation for the third graders science. Okay. Another example is here. As I said, so science lesson objective. This is from the grade 2. To know different states of water, solid, liquid, gas, and etc. This is lesson objective, past simple of B. However, they were studying the context of states of matter. And this is when I just realized how our lessons are connected. She said, did you study? I said, yes. And she said, okay, they are doing so much great. She was so happy that our ECL teacher doesn't have to teach these words because they already know. Okay, so melt, solid, steam, ice, and etc. Another example is interconnection between science and math, because when we observe and record results, we have to measure the height, centimeters, deciliters, the numbers, because we have to record the results. And of course, they remember how to do in from math lessons, right? How to measure, use different units of measurements. Another good example is skin coverings. So verbs have has. They started like fish have gills and whatever scales, wings, and etc. While in science we studied how to classify animals by skin covering. Like mammals have fur and birds have feathers, fish have scales, and etc. Okay, so we have different lesson objectives. Now I'm going to give you some tasks. I have this is the Venn diagram. You know? So science lesson objective is to find out how do animals move. English lesson objectives to use and practice model verb can. You need to find out what is the common target language in those classes. All right. Another task, I will spread this worksheet. Differentiate between materials and objects. Science lesson objective, English to use and practice present simple passive voice. Okay. And the last, know ways of reusing and recycling. And here imperative verb forms, but it's in a right? So do or don't. Do this and don't do this, right? So you can just probably import and create some common language.
Concepts. So let's find out answers to the first five questions. We have made up some three sentences. And then we change by one is stem time. Yes. Words and recording. Excellent. Great. I think everyone has more or less the same, right? Okay. Next, materials and objects, present past and present and past. Right? From this paper. Speaker is made from the grass, okay? Please try your.
I'm not sure if I'm. So I didn't practice this point. For example, I see at the given people every day. So I'm yeah, material and object, material and but I was I was out of the middle class, and also best point table is made of wood. The chair is made of wood. The window is made of glass. Excellent. Smartphones made of fur.
So first point is here, and the last, reducing and recycling. So dogs and juice and dogs, like, yes, any volunteers?
Being container, this first lecture, with schools, recycle, use, the up, throw away, then obviously then the full sentence, not litter, cut the trash, put it in that container, we must recycle.
Excellent. Thank you, thank you. Yes, so that's it for today. Maybe we don't have time for inquiry, but probably next time we'll talk about inquiry and okay, thank you. Okay.